and girls, what's up world? This is Stripes from Australia. And you're checking out Austin John Plays.
I got a new camera. The Sony a6300, amazing 4K camera, and I'm just having trouble with getting it to look good. What's going on, boys and girls? What's up, world? Austin John Plays here, and today we're gonna be going over the 5 best shrine quests in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, there are 120 shrines in the game. 116 of them are optional. Yes, those first 4 are mandatory. You notice I look a little bit different today. I picked up the Sony a6300, and I am having a nightmare of a time doing my settings to make me look me, and not too in particularly discolored or anything. Now, I came up with this list based on a scientific algorithm of the things that I thought were best. So, it's completely arguable that these are not the 5 best shrine quests in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. However, I think they are. And if you watch the video to the end and you think I missed something that deserves to be on this list better than one of the other ones out of all 42 of the shrine quests, leave it in the comment section down below. I'll be sure to check out the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up. The first shrine quest we're going to be talking about involves a little piece of highland area in between the wasteland and the Faron region. Upon making our way to this destroyed cabin here, we're going to find a mountain peak log. It says, "This is the log of my findings concerning the shrine that sleeps on a snowy Gerudo peak. Discovery log, day 1. I come to this snowy mountain intending to find the ancient shrine that was written about in an old text. The shrine slumbers near the pedestal on a snowy Gerudo peak. Discovery log, day 7. It's been 7 days since I arrived at the pedestal mentioned in the ancient texts. Unfortunately, I'm eating through my food provisions more quickly than I anticipated. On a brighter note, I found an explanation in the source text that may be the key to this riddle. When the snowy mountain pedestal glows, cast a cold shadow onto its core. I noticed a faint glow to the pedestal for a short while the other day, but how to cast a cold shadow onto its core? It seems that this calls for further research here. Discovery log day, I've lost count. I could feel I'm a hair's breadth away from unlocking the secrets hidden within the pedestal, but I've run out of food entirely, and I doubt now that I ever had the tools to do the job, whatever they may be. And begins the shrine quest of Secret of the Snowy Peaks. Now, this is really nuts because there's a guy here who's become too obsessed with this. He's run out of provisions and he's pretty much dying up here trying to do this. We don't know how long ago this was. Also, there's 3 barrels here that totally have mushrooms inside of them. Feel free to grab those mushrooms. But for me personally, it took me about 2 hours to figure this out. The fact that I needed to hold a snowball in the shadow reflecting onto the pedestal, hold it exactly at 4 p.m. And when I realized that my snowball was too big, I needed to grab my flame blade. That way, while it was on my back, it would slowly melt the snowball to be the perfect size. And then once it was the perfect size, I swapped back over to my frost spear and then boom, right on top of the pedestal. Cast my shadow, and then the shrine erects from the ground. Now this is number 5 on the list because the story is pretty intense. And the state and mentality that this person needs to be in to be that horribly obsessed with doing something like this, that takes a special kind of person. Or how I was horribly obsessed for 2 hours trying to figure this shit out. The number 4 shrine quest in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This is probably for most people near the beginning of the game because you're gonna go to Kakariko and then Kakariko's gonna say go to Hateno and then you're gonna venture from Hateno. I went south and then I came across this extremely large beast inside of a rib cage of a deceased animal. Now, of course, we all know that this is a Phoenix. Around its neck, it has a shrine orb. Well, not a shrine orb, because those are the little things. Shrine balls? Pedestal orbs? Giant balls. Let's go with giant balls. I like that. So this Phoenix has a giant ball around his neck. You do this early in the game, and if you try to battle these guys with some really base weapons and not a lot of hearts, you gonna die. Yeah, especially if you don't have a lot of arrows. However, you can just hop yourself on top of his hand and he throws you on top of his tummy when it goes to scratch himself, because he's classy like that. You could just grab the giant ball from around his neck, grab it, there you go, and then throw it off. Of course, You need the sneaky suit for this. If you don't have the sneaky suit, he gonna wake up. This was a really, really fascinating thing because now that I know how to play the game, as opposed to when I tried it the first time, I killed the Phoenix and I was like, yay, and then I was like, wait, where does this go? And I finally found the spot, and then I realized that, oh, this is one of 3, and I killed the youngest and weakest of the 3. After placing the orb into the pedestal, sorry, the giant ball into the pedestal, you can actually just glide on over to the second one, don't even deal with the hand. I included this on this list because this is one of the few things in the game that you can do an extremely pacifist way of doing it. You could be a ninja in the night, running around in your bright red and white ninja outfit because that makes sense, and then just doing this. You don't need to kill the Phoenixes, especially if you're at a low level. The third one is a black Phoenix. He's a tier 3 most difficult sub-boss that you're gonna encounter in the game. You most likely will not have the proper equipment to take him out. Throw me on top of there, grab the giant ball from around his neck, make my way over to the pedestal, and then boom, Shrine erects from the ground. And this is the 3 brothers, in my opinion, the number 4 best shrine quest in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The number 3 best shrine quest in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is one that you may not realize is a shrine quest in the first place. In Hatino, you're going to speak to a man named Meta. He's going to tell you about the Spring of Wisdom located at the top of Mount Lanayru. And then you're going to see a whole bunch of purple and pink glowing crystals and a whole bunch of malice in the stuff. Malice, which I like to call purple stuff. And you're going to have this big old dragon with a whole bunch of purple stuff on his face, and it looks ugly AF. The one you see before you is an attendant to the Spring of Wisdom. This is Nadra, the blue spirit of Lanayru. However, the dreaded malice unleashed by Calamity Ganon has possessed it, and then you shoot it in the eye. And then he's going to be all like really pissed off and stuff, and then he's gonna fly away being all diva-ish, make her way to the top of the mountain, shoot another one directly through another malice eye, boop. And this is a really great part of the game because 1, it's teaching you the mechanics of using the updrafts with your paraglider. It's telling you that there's dragons in the game, which who doesn't love dragons? I love dragons. Now you're gonna see a beautiful, beautiful landscape of the entire area. You see Hatino Village in the background. He's flying through the air. You're flying with him. My first time doing this, it was day 2. It was March 4th. It was so much fun. So exhilarating that the game decided to teach you a mechanic by doing this, by flying with a dragon in the air. After hitting the last eye, he's gonna gag and stuff, and then boop! He's turned to a beautiful turquoise dragon. Makes his way back to the top of Mount Lanayru. Thanks for your efforts. Nadra's all better now, been freed of the evil power. A single ceremony remains. Now, shoot him in the face. And then he's gonna fly away and then drop one of his scales for you. Again, teaching you another mechanic, that when you come across dragons in the wild, shoot stuff at them, and then you're gonna get stuff from them. My first time doing the shrine quest, I was giddy. I really was. Also, this is important because it teaches you the way to do this for 2 additional springs in the game. Power, wisdom, and courage. Triforce stuff. For the number 2 shrine quest in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, this one requires some work. It's going to be the Stolen Heirloom, which is based out of Kakariko Village. However, to initiate the shrine quest, you need to initiate a side quest, which requires you to initiate 2 other side quests. Once in town, you're going to make your way to the Great Fairy Fountain after speaking to Picango. He's going to want a picture of the Great Fairy. Make your way over to the Great Fairy Fountain, take a picture of the Great Fairy Fountain, show it to this guy, side quest complete. Then, you need to speak to Kato. And Kato is in charge of making sure that all the Cocos aren't all over the place, which, yep, you better believe it, it's Kakariko Village, so they're all over the place. Find all 10 Cocos and bring them back in the side quest, Flow in the Coop. And then once you do, Flow in the Coop will be updated, speak to Kato again, and then complete this side quest. After completing these 2 side quests, you're gonna make your way into one of the houses inside of town, and you're gonna find Lastly. And Lastly is going to initiate a side quest for you called By Firefly's Light. And by Firefly's Light, you're gonna need to speak to her. This one only becomes available after completing the other 2 side quests. So drop 5 fireflies in the room, they're gonna fly all over the place, and then you're good to go. Great. And now, finally, that we're done with all 3 of those side quests, which needed to be done in a specific order, you're gonna make your way on over towards Impa's house, barge your way into Impa's house, because that's how Link enters rooms, because he doesn't give a shit. And then you're gonna see, this is awful. And Peya is gonna say, Link, I swear I only took my eyes off of it for a second. What should I do? And you'd be like, yo, what's wrong, babe? Because, you know, she sexual innuendo thing based on a book upstairs. Anyways, they just figured out the secret to the heirloom. That's great. The heirloom is a key that opens up a shrine, and it was stolen. But this place is off limits, so they think it's an inside job, and you need to go undercover and discover who it was that stole the heirloom. Someone with evil intent did it, and I'm glad my grandmother's safe, but I feel so violated. Pei is afraid that the thief may still be nearby. You need to, I think, spend the night with her or something? I'm not too sure of the details or why this game is rated E for everyone. Have you seen those great fairies? And their, let's just say forceful ways? Master Link, thank you for staying by my side for the whole day, including nighttime. Winky face. Let's just cut to the chase. Wait for 10 p.m. to happen, and you're gonna see one of the guards in front of Impa's house start to walk away, very suspicious like. Once you get close, it's gonna initiate a cutscene. It says, I know you're there, show yourself. And Dorian's got his sword out, he's looking super pissed. And then, a Yiga clan member shows up. He says, you don't have to shout, I'm right here. So you're the ones who stole the heirloom. Why would you steal it? Don't play dumb, Dorian. You knew what you were getting yourself into when you decided to leave the organization. You did well to tell us about their heirloom. Unfortunately, your usefulness has come to an end. It's your responsibility to take care of that Yiga clan member. Dorian goes on to say, I can't believe it. I was being followed. I'm sure you figured it out, but all this is my fault. There's no point in trying to hide it. I am a member of the Yiga clan. Or I used to be anyways, but I totally left. But once you're part of the family, you're part of the family for life. But then I was met with the most incredible woman who blessed me with 2 amazing children. And so I tried to change my ways. I tried to leave the clan. But the Yiga, they took my wife's life as punishment. Wow, that got really dark really fast. I couldn't let them hurt my children, so I used my position as gatekeeper to gather information for the Yiga. I told them about you and about the village in exchange for safety. But my grief over losing my wife consumed me, and I finally decided to cut ties with the Yiga completely. The Yiga are pure evil. They told me they would kill both Impa and Peya if I didn't play along. Peya and all of us are devoted to helping you in your quest. Now, please restore this heirloom to its pedestal. Master Link, I'm very sorry for all of this. I know it's a selfish request, but do you think you could keep what really happened a secret? I truly don't deserve mercy, and I don't want my children to suffer anymore. I know it doesn't make up for what I've done, but I pledge to protect this village and my family from now on, no matter the cost. This is by far one of the most intense shrine quests that you're gonna get, that has the most story and the most compassion, and a man seeking revenge, and a man making sure that his family is gonna be safe because he was part of the mafia, Yiga clan, and it's a fantastic shrine quest. It's time for the #1 shrine quest in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And this one, I'm fairly certain that no one is going to argue that this is not the best shrine quest. Eventide Island. I don't think it was a question on anyone's mind. Eventide Island is my #1 shrine quest. I present you with a challenge. In your travels, you've relied on your equipment you found along the way. Here, you must cast this equipment aside and face this trial with only your wits and whatever you can scavenge. You're then naked, alone, and afraid. Offer up the orbs to the 3 altars on this island. Only then I will acknowledge your skill and return your items. Now begins the shrine quest, Stranded on Eventide. Now the only things that you actually have now are your power glider and your runes and any champion abilities. That's it. Oh, if you've had any extended hearts or extended stamina, you'll still have those as well. And you need to make your way through this entire island, find the 3 different shrine orbs, and place them on the 3 different altars. And all 3 of them require very, very different ways of going about that. And honestly, I'm really excited to play Stranded on Eventide in hard mode with the DLCs released. Remember before when we jumped on Phoenix's hand and he threw us on his belly and we were able to grab the big ball from around his neck? Well, guess what? Now, you don't have to sneaky close to do that. And once you land on his belly, those footsteps are gonna wake him up. And he's gonna be all like, yo, what's going on here? And he's gonna get up and he's gonna attack you. And this one, not only is it a blue Phoenix, but he has the wood around his feet. So it's not even like you could attack him, you would need to set his feet on fire first. Located right next to where he is the pedestal in which you need to drop that giant ball. But guess what? That is surrounded by enemies. And you need to take those out using whatever you've scavenged on the island, or use your metal stasis in order to hit the giant explosion boxes, and then everyone explodes and everyone has a great time. Your second shrine orb requires you to make your way up an enemy encampment, defeating enemies along the way. All of them have bows, and you most likely do not. And then also, the game tries to stick it to you, and right at the end, right next to the shrine orb is one big barrel. If you hit that with your sword, an electric choo-choo pops out, and he's gonna electrocute you, and that's a lot of fun, because my first time playing it, that's when I died. He was like, you know what? Forget this. I'm not gonna do this right now. I don't need this in my life. I don't need this level of stress. And your third giant ball is gonna be near the top of the island. Now, I don't know if it's coincidence, but anytime I really get close to this area, I feel like it always starts thunder and lightning. And I think in this playthrough, I just figured out why. This moblin is gonna have a metal weapon on him. In fact, most enemies are gonna have metal weapons. Or, if they're disarmed, they're gonna pick up metal weapons from the ground. Now, we're gonna start to see his sword spark up. And I was like, oh my god, this is genius. He's holding metal weapons. Lightning is gonna come crashing down, and then boom, Pikachu used Thunderbolt. Wait for it. See that moblin? Boom! Bye, moblin. Let Zeus himself strike down the non-believers. And by the non-believers, I mean the people holding metal weapons. Once you clear off your last pedestal and throw your giant orb on top of the pedestal, the shrine is gonna erect from the ground, and you're gonna be able to go up there, and then it just clears up. Weather clears up, no problem. And then boom, stranded on Eventide isn't that scary of a place anymore. His voice actually gives you back all of your clothes and stuff, so he makes you naked and then he redresses you. That's what I call a hot Cosby. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. In my opinion, the top 5 shrine quests in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Do you disagree with this list? Do you think there's something else that belongs here? Leave a comment down below. Until next time, Austin John out. Be sure to like this video and subscribe. I'm going to be giving you guys lots of helpful videos in the next following days and weeks. Till next time, Austin John out.